there everyone, welcome back to another Vanguard video. Today I wanted to have a little discussion about the way that singles are being sold, because I think Vanguard is actually very unique in how things are looking to shape up for overdress, and I am not sure if it's a good thing. It seems like it is, but I think there's a possibility that 6 months from now we're going to look back and we're going to go, oh no, this is not good. Let me just start off by saying a big reason that I'm concerned is Bushiroad is not good with reprints. Some cards you can expect to see reprints for, but it won't be for like a year or something at best. A lot of the times these reprint sets won't reprint like triple rares and stuff, which will often be really expensive, really hard to get, because they want to maintain some level. To an extent, of course, that makes sense, because you want to incentivize people to have some reason to buy the older product. You don't want, it's not necessarily a smart business move to go, okay, I'm going to introduce this triple rare staple in set 1, and I'm going to reprint it in set 3, because then why would anyone buy set 1? And then you can't fall into the issue of, well, why would I buy set 3? Because anything good from set 3 is just going to get reprinted in set 5. So, to an extent, I understand being a little stingy with reprints, but I think Bushiroad is too stingy. And I think that is going to lead to some issues. So, let's talk about the good before I start talking about my concerns. And the good is, I think overdress is probably the cheapest card game I've ever seen in terms of maintaining a full collection of something. For example, let's say you wanted to maintain, let's say you just loved, you played Magic and you just love red, you just adore it, so you want to have a mono red collection. That's going to be not cheap, because you're going to have to go out and especially in games like Magic and Pokemon, where the pull rates, and Yu-Gi-Oh, where Yu-Gi-Oh is sort of less applicable, but to an extent, where the pull rates in these things are far more randomized. There's no, unless you're buying in really big bulk, you don't have a guarantee that you're going to be getting any kind of average amount of anything. So things like color splits in Magic are absolutely not a thing. Those are not a product that people will go out and sell. You buy singles. So you would have to go out and you would have to buy singles for every single red card in, I don't know, whatever the new set is. So you'd have to go out and you have to do all that, and that's obviously going to be quite pricey. And it's the same for Pokemon. I don't know why you would, but perhaps you really like water type, so you just want to maintain a water type collection. Again, be pretty pricey, because water type splits are absolutely not a thing. When you come to Bushiroad games, we have this very unique situation where pull rates are, relatively speaking, incredibly standardized. Now, sometimes they can still be totally fucky, but a lot of the time they're very, very, very standardized. If you buy a case of this set, you're going to get 8 of each triple rare, 12 of each double rare, whatever. I'm pulling those numbers out my arse. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, but to an extent, you know what you're getting. So that means that sellers are able to, unlike basically any other game, exactly plan out their quantities, the things they're going to get. They can list stuff in advance, and key, they can sell nation splits. They've been doing this for clans for the last few years, and we've slowly seen, since I would say 2018, this happened in Buddy Fight as well, before the game was cancelled. We slowly saw this transition away from singles and towards buying world splits, with the exceptions of like dual world cards, for example. And we saw in Vanguard a very strong shift away from singles and towards pre-ordering clan splits rather than single cards. And the reasons for this are sort of multifaceted, but I think a really big one is Vanguard during V became an item a product that you did not want to hold in your inventory for a very long time, in the short term anyway. It became something that was absolutely not smart to... what you wanted to do is you want to just get rid of it as fast as possible with the new stuff, and then you could, consider buying staples of other things for your inventory collection, but by and large, a majority of that set you just wanted gone. You wanted it out of there, because all the money was made in that sort of pre-order period and first week, and after that it was hard going. And this was very true for Buddy Fight as well. And what we see in overdress is the nation splits are returning, and here's the positive: they are very, very, very cheap. I believe I bought. I mean, okay. So firstly, if you were like super early and you were willing to trust Bushy Road, which I was not, absolutely was not. If you were willing to trust that Bushy Road were not going to fuck you for the 35th time in the last 5 years, you went out and you bought your full 4 playset everything. That would have been about $500 to $550 from your singles website of choice. And you sit there and you do the maths, and it ends up, it ends up being about $100 and a bit dollars per nation. And I believe at the time, my friends, they had a discount code or something, so one of my mates did buy one of these, split it with a mate, and they paid about £60 per nation, which is ridiculous, right? You're getting, for £60, you're getting a full playset of every single card in that nation. That's mental. That means, like, if you average that to a monthly basis and you assume you're going to get shagged and you're going to wait till the last minute to pre-order it, which I believe the most expensive ones now are... I've seen some places listing Brant for, like, $200. Chill out, lads. Chill out. We're probably going to see it, like, stabilize around $150 per nation split, I would guess. That's still very, very cheap, which is, crazy. That's amazing. And that's certainly a good thing for getting players into the game. For example, me, I was someone who did not play during V. I did not play during the majority of G. To get me into the game, it's very, very easy to turn around and go, hey, look, you're interested in this game? Here's what you do. You like Stoicheia? Cool. Go out, buy that Stoicheia Nation split, $100 whatever dollars. You now have 4 of everything. You can build every deck that's available for Stoicheia in set 1. You have to go out and buy the starter deck as well, but that's it. It's a very, very compelling selling point of overdress, and absolutely props. That's no other card game can say. You can get a full split, 2 decks ready to go, 60 quid. That's crazy. Now, are we going to see the same pricing like that cheap? Unlikely, but even £100 for 2 decks, £50 per deck, still so much cheaper than anything else on the market that in terms of, because you're getting a full collection, right? Like, yes, other card games, you can choose one deck and only update that one deck, and that will be cheaper. But come on, come on, let's be fair here. Credit where it's due. That's really, really cheap. Now, I've harped on about how cheap it is. Let's talk about what that could mean, though, because what we have seen historically, and I think Weiss is a fantastic case study for this, and what I think we will see with overdress, and why I am concerned, and why I talked about Bushy Road's reprint policy at the start of this video, is that I am very certain that we are, one, not going to see good reprints very frequently, and 2, that is going to mean that getting into a nation in the future is going to be very, very difficult. If we take this step by step, so we have our stores who know the exact amount to within a very good margin of error of each copy they're going to keep. Now, they're going to keep some inventory, they're not stupid, but, by and large, they're selling the vast majority of it in pre-orders. You can go onto a lot of these websites and they've already sold out their first run-through and even their second restock, a lot of them. They're currently, I believe a couple of websites are already on their 3rd restock. So, they are selling out. That means a majority of the stock is going to be in the hands of players. It just does not make sense to buy boxes unless you're buying in bulk. You're probably not going to see a great deal of individual singles out there on the market. I think it's going to be actually quite restrictive. And those singles that are available, I think, are going to be very, very, very expensive. And this will be a sort of fulfilling cycle, because you will see, I'm really glad I bought my Brantgate split, because the triple rare Orphist or whatever it is now like $20, and I only paid $100 and something for my whole playset, and I got 4 of those. So obviously, from now on, I'm just going to buy playsets. I'm never going to buy singles, and this is going to lead to the exact same cycle perpetuating. And this is going to have a really negative effect, because if you can't buy the previous staples for reasonable prices, people are not going to be able to get into the game. And we see this in Weiss. This is Weiss's biggest issue by far. If you get in on the ground floor on Weiss, like for example myself, I've picked up my first ever Weiss playset. I bought in for Kaguya. And that cost me like $200 or something, $200 something, which is, for a playset of everything, very reasonable. And I know that I'm never going to have to go out and buy anything again for that deck unless it gets another set of support, in which case I'd go out and buy another playset. I'm never going to have to pick up singles. But that's just because I happen to be interested in playing Weiss at this time, and they happen to be releasing Kaguya in the near future. So everything sort of, the stars aligned, and I was like, yeah, cool, I'll buy it. But let's say a year from now, I decide I want to play Weiss, and I missed Kaguya, and Kaguya is an anime I love. And the singles are going to be totally fucked. Because, again, Bushiroad doesn't do additional print runs, for one thing, and Bushiroad does not reprint staples. And in Weiss, this is a kind of a separate issue, because reprints in Weiss are kind of hard. But anyway, this is an issue in Fate. For example, my friend is looking to picking up Fate. It's costing him a disgusting amount, Some of these singles, they're only rares, and they're costing like 50 quid, which is nuts. But there's just no availability, because everyone bought either they bought boxes at the start, and they pretty much held everything, because they would have sold the singles at the start for that instant, to get that instant amount of money back, and then they were just happy they've kept their thing. So either they're going to sell a whole collection for some obscene price, which, a lot of the time you don't need, or they're just going to hold on to it and never want to sell it. And that's even more likely with Weiss, given the sort of way the game is designed to be, you play your favourite anime. So what I'm concerned that we're going to see in Vanguard is people are going to go, okay, well, I bought my Stoke Nation Split, and I don't really want to sell any singles from my Nation Split. I want to keep everything. I think it would be silly to sell singles, and I agree. As someone buying a Nation Split, I have no incentive at all to sell any of those cards as singles, because what if I need them in the future? I'm going to try and sell everything in bulk when I'm, liquidating the whole collection and probably moving out of Vanguard. That's, the time this would happen. Which means, as the game goes on, these splits are going to get more expensive. Getting into the game is going to get more and more difficult. It's going to be really, really exclusive to people who got it on the ground floor, which is basically us at the start. And I'm concerned. I don't really know what Bushiroad is going to do about it, but historically they haven't been very good at managing this. How would I go about handling it? You gotta reprint a lot more, lads. You need. I don't know if a year is an adequate time, but if, for example, we got a festival collection a year from now, reprinting pretty much every single good card from set 1 between between a festival collection and a new trial deck probably is what's going to be necessary, because I think this is going to be a video that I'll be very interested to see how it ages, because if I'm correct, the singles market for Vanguard's going to be totally fucked, and getting into this game is going to be really difficult, and I hope I'm wrong. But we'll see if I am. Do you think this crackpot theory is interesting? Have I drawn false parallels? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.